back. And look, with the force I will teach. Will I teach? I don't know, it's Yoda, he talks weird. All right, so I'm going, this is the same video from the last one. I don't know how you'd know that, but it is. I'm gonna do number 3. So it's going, graphing through a point. I wanna do one that has sign, just so you can see how sign works with the point. And then, yeah, I'm really good at this. I was made to be in front of the camera. All right, so we are graphing. So whenever you graph, we do our dapper, okay? D is the midline. Midline of y equals -2. Amplitude of 3, that's nice, they just tell you. Period is 16. So whenever you're figuring out the interval, you take the period and divide it by 4, because we have 4 equal sections. 5 points, but 4 sections, so that's why. So we take 16 divided by 4, and that's 4. And then it goes through the point 4, -5. Oh, sorry, it goes through the point 4, -5. So we're gonna have to decide, I have to remind myself, because I forget that. Then the range is our min to our max, so I like to do my range on the graph, because you could do D plus or minus A, that's fine. I just like to use the graph. It's easier for me. So I take D as -2, so I'm gonna say that my y-axis is just gonna be the regular interval, so it's just going to, each block is gonna be 1. So D is -2, that's my, I don't like that. Okay, and then the amplitude is 3, so from the amplitude, from the midline, we're gonna go up 3, so this is the max here, and down 3, this is the min. So the min would be -5, and the max would be 1. That's just, keeping track there, making sure that your graph stays in there. So all your points are gonna bounce up and down between those max and the min and the max. All right, so next thing I have to do is I need to label my x-axis. So this is my y, this is my x. So I'm labeling my x-axis with my interval. So remember, 5 points, and you count by 4s. Okay, so it's 0, 1 4, 2 4s, 3 4s, and 4 4s. So those are my points that I need. Now, unfortunately, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there. So each one of these little marks needs to probably be 2, okay? If I give you the x and y axis, then the x and y axis need to stay there. You can't rearrange it, okay? Now, you could go backwards. So since it just needs to go through that point and you have to graph 1 cycle, you could start back, okay? I don't like to do that because I don't know, I just don't. So you could go -4, -8, as long as you have 5 points. So this could be your 5 points, okay? This could be your 5 points. I'm gonna do this one, because most people do prefer starting at the y-axis and moving over. But realize, you guys with the big brains, you could probably do anything you want. They didn't turn those off, people that live nearby. Why are we torturing? Anyway, here we go. So the point I need to go through is 4, -5. So how do I put that on my graph? So you have to just be aware that your x-axis interval is different than your y-axis. Okay, at least for me here. Okay, so this is going to be 2. I'm not going to put my mark there just because I only want to put my marks where I'm going to put my points. Otherwise, it gets very confusing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 4 right there. This is my 0. So remember, these are the points that I'm doing. So it's 0, 4, 8, 12, 16. So this is 4. So I only have to really put 1 spot. You don't have to label each little mark. As long as you've labeled 1, you're good. Okay? And I don't really have to label my y-axis because they're all just ones. All right, so now this is sine. So since it's sine, I need to start at the midline. So that's nice, you always start at the midline. The next point looks to be like it's gonna go through 4. Okay, the x is 4, so this is my 4 spot. So 4, -5, so it's 4 min. That's my min. That means with sine, it's starting at the midline and going down. So if you start at the midline and go down, it's a negative. There's been a reflection. So then we just go from there. So midline, min, midline, max, midline. Just be careful you don't include the x-axis in your foray here because it's not part of it. Don't put dots on the x-axis. There's my sine-ish function. The only other thing I need is b. So remember, b is, I won't say that again, I messed it up last time. So you just take 2 pi over b and set it equal to the period. And we know the period is already 16. Cross multiply. So it's pi over 8. Okay, so when we're doing this, the equation is y equals, I can put d first if we want. Remember, we can do this. -2, -3, sine pi over 8 x. So please include a y and an x in your equation. That's fun. It's the warning bell. Hurry up, get to class.